Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and what is today? Telling you guys I'm having a hard time keeping up with the day, but I think it's Thursday, so happy Thursday to you guys. I hope it's Thursday. So I wanted to talk to you all today in regards to, do you have any regrets because you played the fool? Do you feel like a fool because you played the fool? Well, listen, guys, it happens to some of the best of us. And, I think if you live long enough, at least once in your life, hopefully just once, if you've experienced it, then maybe you've played the fool. Well, I want to tell you guys, and I hope again, because you realize that at some point, everyone in some type of way have played the fool. Let it be indirectly or directly, knowingly or not knowingly. And then you found out and you stayed, whatever it may be, but it wasn't right. Okay. So with that being said, again, if you live long enough, we are going to have a time where we get caught up. You know what I mean? Things may be good at the beginning and then turn kind of sour at the end, but you still can't let go. Or you may end up in a situation from the very beginning where you knew what it was from the beginning, but you never had the intentions on catching feelings, and you caught feelings and you just couldn't shake the person, but you were very, very aware of the situation, that maybe they had someone before you got involved. So it's so many different scenarios, but whatever. Or maybe someone left you and you were heartbroken, so you started stalking them, or you started begging them to stay, or you started dealing with someone who was blatantly disrespecting you, standing you up, but because of soul ties or whatever reasons, you stuck around. Well, guys, I truly believe, again, that it's a part of life. It's a part of the journey. I believe before we reach our ultimate destination, whatever the will of God, whatever the will of our lives that God has for us, that ultimate spouse, if any, or that, that career, whatever the ultimate destination is, you cannot reach that without trial and error, without experiences, without wisdom. Now, the problem is, if you are someone that's constantly playing the fool, let it be with different people, or let it be you're the individual who's been tied up with the same person for 20 years. Like, you play the fool, but eventually you have to catch it. Even if you've lost a couple of years, you know what I mean? For even 4 or 5 years, but 20 years, no. Like you gotta wake up. There's no way in the world someone could be saying like, okay, I'm going to marry you one day, and you wake up 20 years later and you got 5 kids, and no judgment here. I'm just saying, hopefully at some point you do wake up, because the older you get, you realize how quickly these years are passing by. When you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, early 20s, it's like you feel like you have all the time in the world. But listen, honey, once you hit 30, it's kind of like, wait a minute, this clock is moving. These years are coming by fast. And that's not to say stop putting the pressure on anyone to marry you or anything like that, because I'm a firm believer in that. Like, don't pressure anyone to marry you or even be in a relationship. Like, that's, to me, that's just something that happens naturally. You shouldn't have to pressure or push that. If you are, then that person most likely is just not for you. Or it could just be the wrong timing. I'm a firm believer in that two of the right people can meet just at the wrong timing. And ultimately, if it's destined, believe it or not, you'll come back together. Even if that means 2 relationships later, if that means meeting 15 years at the gas station, you bump into each other. If it's destined and meant to be, you will come back together. You could be married right now. You could have, gotten over this person and gotten married. But if something is for you, it is for you. It will ultimately come back around one way or another. So anyway, So again, the reason why it's so important to realize that whatever is going on in your life, that person who's wasting your time, that person who's constantly dishonoring and disrespecting you, again, there's no time limit I think each of us have to go through our own, our own time limits. But again, it's important to catch how long you stay. You have to come up with a plan, because what happens is, if you are now being with the person who is truly not the person that God has ordained for you, you are truly wasting your years and wasting your time. If you have already had confirmation from God, like, okay, this is not the person for you. Okay, you may love him, you may love her, you may think like you want a future with her, but this is not the person that I actually have for you. Once you get that indication, you get that download and that alert from God, through the Holy Spirit, each day you stay, you are jeopardizing what it is that God truly has for you. If God has already removed a person from you, even if he had to allow that person to hurt you so bad because you weren't strong enough to walk away, where he allowed that person to hurt you so bad where you had no choice but to walk away, or he made that person leave you just to try to get you to ultimately what he has for you, the more you keep fighting to go back, the more you are pushing your blessings away. And ultimately, if you keep fighting against it, he's going to let you go back. And guess what? That person will hurt you worse. That person will hurt you more than more than what they hurt you the first time. So that's why obedience is important. And what happens is, our flesh wants what our flesh wants. So we want the person who we want, right? And most times we get that. And guess what happens? Most time we get hurt. Most time it doesn't work out because we're choosing on our own accord. But it isn't until you are strong enough to walk away from a toxic situation, stay single, date yourself for a while, most importantly, develop a relationship with God. That is when he will then give you indication on what your next move is. And believe it or not, the person, the man or the woman of your dreams who you never even knew existed will just come and fall into your lap. Just that easy. Because you're then aligned. You're not choosing for yourself, because you're not choosing because this chick is bad or she have a bad body, because this dude is successful or this dude is whatever, flesh is flesh. But because you are aligned in the will of God, then now he will give you what you deserve, which is respect, which is honor, which is love and commitment, especially if you've been through a lot in your past and you've one of these individuals who never even experienced proper love in your childhood and your foundation. So it's like he almost want to give you triple for, not even double for your trouble, honey, triple for your trouble. And because you weren't able to experience this in the first half of your life, even the second half, I want to give you everything in your forever season. But you gotta just follow me. Stop trying to do it yourself. I've been telling you for the longest. Like, this dude keep disrespecting you. He's making up excuses on why he didn't answer his phone. He's standing you up and calling with another excuse in the morning. This chick is going for the bad boy and you're trying to be the good boy and do everything the right way. You're trying to respect her, but she's falling for the dude who disrespected her. She went back to her ex who's constantly beating on her. Like, whatever it is, we all done played the fool. But again, sometimes playing the fool has to happen in order for us to wake up. So I hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope that you all are woke. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.